For life.
Yeah. Bullet cast. What's going on? Stacy. This elite podcast in here. Ain't nobody better. Look. Yeah. Listen to us every time we live in the side. When you turn it on, it's just defining the mind. If you feel it, our opinions is great. When everything we moving now in the state, turn us on. If the feeling is right, every opinion now comes from the heart. No time we move with a part. We on the radio, it's wrestling.
Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? You know the name, you know the voice, you know exactly why I'm here. Just in case you don't, I am a 26-year-old piece of gold, the messiah of the microphone, and the greatest sports and recreation podcaster in the world today. I am joined by the 15-time and first ever Bulletcast champion, the Canadian Destroyer, BT Brandon Tanguma. BT, it's Wednesday. You know what that means. What's going on, Mr. No Days Off?
Of course, Mr. No Days Off. Philip, it is Wednesday, which means another episode of the Bulletcast. Just the two of us. Once again, cue the music. Maybe this is just what we are now. Maybe we are just back to the OG twosome. But Philip, I'm doing okay. Went to the A's game today. They lost again. 0-3 on the season when I'm there. So, but it's okay.
It's okay.
I gotta see Vladdy Cakes. Gotta see the wagon because that ass is a wagon. If you don't know, now you know.
Wait a second.
But anyways, I'm doing great, Philip. How are you doing today?
Went to a press conference today. You know, big things are happening in the Yay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go check out the socials of Juicy Finau, Journey Fatu, Hot Tag, the cannabis medicine oil. Go check out the socials of that. It'll be up on the Bulletcast feed on YouTube and in podcast form probably tomorrow or the day after, talking about this big thing that Juicy has planned for the Bay Area on September 2nd, which I hear is the birthday of Levi Shapiro, who was just on the show as an interview guest. Brandon, thoughts of the interview?
Well, Philip, it was a great interview. It was fantastic, lengthy interview, almost near or over 20 minutes, I believe. And great camera work. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out on the YouTube. We appreciate if you want to listen to it and watch it on the YouTube, that's perfectly fine as well. But great camera work, great interview, great question about the hot tub time machine. I thought Levi had a great answer. There's some B-roll footage captured from the wrestling school. So it was not just a, single camera setup, just talking away. There's actually some good footage and good reason to go check out the YouTube video.
I used to throw B-roll in the interviews back in the day. I thought I'd bring it back. What's your favorite B-roll spot? Did you kind of skip through the video version of it? See how I put it all together? Or?
Well, of course, Philip. I watched the entirety of it because I am here to support you. I'm here to support us. But
at least you're here.
There was, I know. Always here. For better, for worse.
Yep.
There's the literally over the back shot of Levi just looking over and watching. I did there was some footage where you can see him talking and kind of trying to explain it because this was the what was the exact, because it wasn't the beginner,
the semi-pros and the pros.
So yes, these people did have some some experience, but because of the pandemic, I think the most experienced person was 3 years. But if you take the pandemic into account, realistically, a year and a half, and I don't think anyone's really had a match yet. So definitely a lot of work to be done, and Levi was there spreading the knowledge.
Absolutely, man. We talked about the 100 years of wrestling in the Bay Area. We didn't recap all 100 years, but maybe that's something we should do, go decade by decade. I think that'd be cool when I get that book.
I did you name drop When It Was Big Time, because that is a book that I have looked into and tried to grab, but as he said, it is very limited and very hard to get your hands on. And so everything I've heard, it's a fantastic book, and especially being from the Bay and wanting to know more about it, I would love to read it. Maybe Levi could slide it our way one time for the
What's the name of the book again?
When It Was Big Time. I forget exactly who the author of it was, but
yeah.
If you just look into it, type up big time wrestling, the best big time wrestling. You'll find it. I don't know if you'll find a copy of it, but you will find writings and people talking about it.
That's what's up. The other big time wrestling's coming back in August, I think, or something like that. That's interesting. But Levi, great interview. Love him. Got a nice zoom in. Go watch the video version on YouTube. A nice zoom in of the nasal thing, or the thing that's in his nose, so he can breathe right at the moment.
And yes, if you see the B-roll, he's not picking his nose; he's fixing the nasal grip because it's underneath in his nostril. So
yeah, it looks like a scepter. It's kind of cool.
So he's not picking his boogies, people. He's trying to do it so he can breathe.
Yeah, Levi. I mean, he went in depth, man. We talked about bumping and feeding and just a lot of insider terms and stuff. It was really fun. Yeah, man. How was your experience at the school though, Brandon?
It was a fun time. Second time being there. Went there in early 2020 to do the Starboy interviews and stuff. So it's been a while since I've been there. Really hasn't changed much, but it's a cool time. And even though, just kind of listening and seeing the inner workings. No, not trying to kill kayfabe or anything, but I do find it very interesting. It does make you appreciate the legit pros who do it at a high level, because not trying to bury them or anything, they were doing very simple things, and it was it was a little bit of a struggle. They were getting they're new, and so they were just learning things, and it just makes you be appreciative of the people who are able to do it so crisply and cleanly, even though sometimes we might get on them and harp on them about them messing some stuff up or anything like that. But at all times, I do understand that it is very hard to do the graps.
Absolutely. There was the best part of the day. There was an amateur bat and Brennan almost slid a disc.
Well, that's because we're still, especially because I am the champion. I will be the champion forever. We still have this match scheduled for apparently someday in November at Mount Eden. Hey, and I was trying to get that match in real quick one time. It was not a full-fledged match, but we could have done a little something. And Philip, he was ducking me.
He was ducking me. Juicy and Journey said they're trying to roll through. I'm like, all right, bet. Maybe you got to wrestle them to get to me.
Well, I mean, I don't know about all that.
Oh, now you don't want to do it.
Well, they're some big boys, and I'm not afraid of you. I'm afraid of them.
You better be afraid. You know who I am. I'm a silent assassin. How dare you?
Philip is underestimating my as much as I lack in technique, I overperform in tenacity and quickness and some athleticism.
Real quick when I toss you in the air. What do you need?
My feet are not.
What was your last match? What did you do in your last match?
The last time. Well, actually, this is probably not a story I should tell, but the last time I wrestled was in 8th grade. So this was, almost 30 years ago because I'm old and decrepit. But it was 8th grade. It was the middle school tournament or whatever, end of season. And I was wrestling, and I think I already lost one. So I was in the loser's bracket or something or another. And I wrestled this dude. And Philip, I have never been that's really the only hand-to-hand combat I've ever really done in my life. But I have never been manhandled and destroyed. I felt very hopeless against this person. He had me in a little bit of a chokehold, a little cheating. You're not supposed to be doing that, but if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Exactly. So that's, and I learned from those techniques, and I might have to utilize them on Philip if push comes to shove, but it ain't going to get down to that because I don't need to be doing all that. But anyways, he might have been choking me a little bit, and I was struggling to breathe, and I might have been squealing like a little piggy.
Choking like the way Victoria choked me in that photo?
Wee. That's basically what I sounded like. It was bad. It was.
Hey, you gotta experience all that again. Wow.
Better get some PTSD flashbacks. But it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Philip is very he's underestimating me. Bruh. He's like, oh, just because you wrestle all the time. I mean, come on, I got this.
I don't wrestle all the time.
Exactly. That's even worse.
What are you, bro? My last match, I was in a league final. Do you not understand that? I was one pin away from going in the Hall of Fame. Come on, bro. Hell, I should be put in the Hall of Fame anyway. Stop yourself.
I mean, I'm just saying, not trying to get after you, but I feel like, I know wrestling's one thing, but I think physically I have the upper hand. I just need to not choke it. I just need to not mess up.
Bro, I'm back in the lab.
I feel like athletically, I got this. As long as, I stick to the plan and I don't mess up and I don't, as long as you don't grasp your hands together and can lift me and throw me, which is not going to happen. I don't think I've ever.
Oh, really?
It's not going to happen. Trust me.
Really? Bro, I'm back in the lab. I'm in here.
I've been in the lab.
But bro, the endurance is back. It's up. The strength is back.
You out here
You don't
doing basic
understand.
arithmetic while I'm out here,
Basic?
messing around with the periodic table and stuff.
What do you mean? You're doing basic chemistry. I'm out here doing zoology. What's up?
I'm out here doing marine biology
Okay, you can do that.
never mind. With all the girls at high school who say, I'm going to be a marine biologist. And then they don't do that. And then they fall
Why not?
back and just do
Pregnant
whatever.
with 3 kids. What? Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about some wrestling other than us.
See, Philip, I told you before the podcast in our pre-show meeting that they don't come here for the wrestling. They come here for the witty banter.
Like the Drake talk, which I
This
was
might
right
not have
about.
been witty, but it was banter.
You want to argue about next? What's up? We can have that Lil Wayne argument again. What's up?
Once again, Philip, we don't need to go down that road.
I mean,
because
but,
we've
bro,
crossed that bridge many
Because
times.
he said, "What's I going to a goblin?" Nothing. Really? That's why y'all love this man? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Why would you say
Once
it?
again, you keep getting all over your boy Drizzy. If there was no Wheezy, there would be no Drizzy.
Bro,
That's just a fact.
That's not a fact. Shut up.
That is just a fact, Jack.
I'm stupid. No. Drake would have made it. He was on Degrassi. He was going to make it either way. How dare you?
No.
How dare you?
Drake has so much respect for Lil Wayne, Philip. I think you need to show that same respect.
If he was Canadian, sure, but he's not.
What, you got some against Louisianans? New Orleans?
Hey, look, New Orleans. I almost got caught up in Katrina.
T's and P's.
I know, T's and P's. Thought about staying like a few more days, and if we had stayed, yep, that this show would not be happening right now. Yeah.
T's and P's.
Anyway, Logan Paul signs with WWE. What are your thoughts? Or this news broke out after we recorded?
Yeah, I mean, I don't got too much really to add. I'm not a big Logan Paul fan. I obviously know who he is. It is one of those things that WWE does where they kind of sign, a character. They sign a celebrity. I don't know what exactly signing him means. Like, is this like the MMA person we talked about last week where it's a full-blown contract and she's going to be at the PC? I don't think so. I think it's just more of like a scheduled, almost like a Brock Lesnar kind of contract. Like, oh, here's your like 20 dates you'll do for the year and like your 3 matches or something. And I don't know exactly what Logan Paul adds. They are looking like they're continuing down the road of him as a face against The Miz,
He has
which is not a good idea.
He's a major fan base. And with the Miz thing, so Miz is going to have to really dial it up. He's going to have to really be a treacherous heel in order for that stadium to boo him and cheer Logan.
It looks like they're going to pair him with AJ, which is a positive. It might dilute the boos a little bit, but it is going to be a tag match, which means there will be a point where Logan Paul will go up against The Miz. And especially if it's Logan Paul and Ciampa, I mean, probably even double that against a SummerSlam type crowd. It's not going to be good. Like, I know the WWE crowd has kind of lessened in the ardent, smarky fans. So maybe they're the more casual or the less cynical fans will be at SummerSlam than there usually have been. And they'll be more likely to cheer Logan Paul, or they do like Logan Paul. But I find that very hard to believe.
For sure. All right. Moving on from that, Tony Khan apparently is open to doing a show with WWE. That's the real forbidden door I've been talking about, people. It's funny. This is coming after Sam Roberts booked the Ultimate Forbidden Door WWE versus AEW. So, I mean, I don't know. We've seen AEW people on WWE TV. The Knockouts champion from Impact was in the Royal Rumble. Is this a possibility now?
It is absolutely not a possibility. Like, obviously, Tony Khan would say, okay, cool. Yeah, of course we would do it. Trying to, be the baby face and look cool, which, I mean, we saw, on the Cena thing, he sent over the videos. But I have a feeling if Jericho was having a similar celebration and they asked WWE to send over some videos, I honestly don't think Vince would have greenlit it. I think
Well, they did the 30 years of Jericho, but I guess Tony Khan didn't ask for any.
I'm not saying that in that instance he didn't or did. I'm just saying if they did, like right now, after saying, oh, Vince, we sent some things over for you guys. Could you, do us a favor and send over some videos of like Cena, Orton, whoever else for a Jericho thing or a Big Show thing or Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson thing? I just don't feel they would have done that. I would love to be proven wrong because WWE hasn't. I mean, it's AEW and WWE. There's never going to be a joint show. People just calm the F down. We did get a WWE reference today with a little showdown between Claudio
Cesaro,
Claudio, and Jake Hager. But
yes.
Besides that, I don't think we're going to do that.
Jake Hager, one of the best WWE ECW champions.
That's saying a lot.
WWE ECW is better than the original. I'll say it. I'll die on that hill today.
Vince McMahon also up there, better champion than Taz and Shane Douglas and
Christian better ECW champion than Shane Douglas.
Okay.
Speaking of, well, this is a topic we'll get into in a little bit. What else is going on? WWE A&E Docs premiere this Sunday. I think Undertaker's is first. They look like they're going to be fun. They're doing that Smack Talk show right after where they recap the documentaries. I'm just really excited about the WrestleMania 19, The Rock and Austin and stuff. That's going to be interesting. Speaking of Austin, I found a place on Jackson to buy his beer. I'm excited, and the guy says he's going to order the lager. So you down?
Of course, yeah. You send me the link, send me the address once they come through.
Let's make a trip together. Let's do that.
We could make a trip together. We'll
use my vehicle as always.
Oh yeah, of course, because you got the more gas efficient vehicle. I'm the more effective driver. It goes hand in hand.
Absolutely. Paige is officially a free agent as of midnight today. Or
in 10 minutes if we're going by East Coast time because it's almost 9:00 here.
I think her contract was up on the 7th, right? Yeah, so that's tomorrow. It's coming up. So she had an article in what was it, the Players Tribune? Was that it?
Sure, yeah, of course.
What do you mean? Sure, yeah, of course.
Well, I don't know. I'm not the person who runs the Instagram who reposted it.
What do you mean? That's not.
I used to have access to the Twitter, but that's not apparently. I got kicked out of that.
I asked you, did you want it? You said no. Yeah, the Players Tribune. And I'm gonna read a little excerpt of it. The truth is, it was easy enough for WWE to get behind me in those early years. Or in those early days. I'm sorry. I was a young woman who could wrestle at a high level and cut good promos and move loads of merch. I was probably one of their top assets. You know what I mean. And you don't learn much about people from how they treat you when you're on top. You learn about people's true nature, I've found, from how they treat you when you're close to the bottom. And a few years ago, I got pretty close to the bottom. It was like almost overnight. So many things changed. Suddenly my neck was fucked and I couldn't wrestle. I popped a drug test. My sex tape leaked. I got depressed. I started drinking and I became less of an asset to WWE and more of a liability for a long time. I'm sure of it. But they never lost faith in me. They never once threw me off to the side. They got me the help I needed when I needed help. And they gave me the time and space I needed when I needed time and space. And obviously the article goes on more, but that's really the main core of it, the meat of it. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, very emotional, very personal statement from Paige as we get from these Player Tribune things. I mean, Bryan Danielson did one when he was leaving WWE. And, the Paige story is a rocky one from her personal life to her professional life with the injuries and of such. So I'm excited to see what her next chapter is. Obviously, she's keeping the door open to wrestling again. As long as the doctors say it's cool and she can stay healthy, then I'm okay with it. I would love to see what she would do in any promotion. It doesn't just have to be AEW, because I do think she still has something. She's relatively young. She's still either just turned 30 or like in her early 30s. So, and she's been off television or been off wrestling for years at this point. So her body isn't too broken down besides the neck injuries and stuff. So I would love to see what she can do. I'm excited for the next chapter. And I think a lot of people are, because she does have the unique look. She has the unique swagger and character, and she is a good talker, good wrestler. She was never able really to show, I think, her wrestling ability, because she was just, at that right before the quote unquote women's revolution with the Four Horsewomen. She had some good matches with AJ and some other people, but never was able to have like that showcase standout match on the main roster.
Absolutely. We're going to keep it rolling. Inside the Ring, APW's back September 3rd, 2022. Brandon, we're going, right? We talked about this when indie shows started coming back. We were like, man, we can't wait for APW. Here we are over a year later. It's time. It's time.
Yes, I mean, APW, for you guys who don't know, was the biggest indie.
It was the premier indie here in the Bay, in NorCal, for decades.
I mean, with the Starboy stuff I was doing before the pandemic, they were gonna have a show like kind of that week of the
shutdown.
Everything just went to hell with the NBA and sports just shutting down, and COVID really just took over. So it's been well over 2 years now at this point. Going to be 2.5 years by the time this show starts. So I'm excited. They usually bring one or two big guns from outside the area. So it's going to be exciting to see what they do.
Yep. The juicy show. The big kickback is the day before. I'm going to be at everything. So come see me. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tessa Blanchard's making an in-ring return. July 16th coming up here. Next week? She at Hurricane Pro Wrestling. Yeah.
Good for her.
The problem child.
She was supposed to be on that Women of Wrestling thing that AJ's doing, and she got kicked off of that as well. AEW seems to not want her. TNA got rid of her. WWE isn't going to touch her, I guess.
NWA. So. She's running out of spots, man. NWA or MLW. Those are really her only two options.
I remember in Chicago when they did the Ruby Soho debut for the Battle Royal. There was that one guy who wanted Tessa Blanchard, and everybody in that section or in the part of the arena was like loudly chanting, "No, we don't," and that was hilarious.
We want Tessa. No, we don't. Is that it?
Yeah, pretty much. It was like one person against like 2,000. I
should have joined him so he didn't feel as bad.
He needed a friend because
he needed a friend. Oh God, maybe not. Absolutely not. Jeez. Valerie Loretta, she was actually on the Sam Roberts podcast this week. Go check that out. She did a Sam's morning show and series with him and Jim Norton, and talked about obviously from what she can expect. She just started watching wrestling this year, bro. So we'll see.
And I know that's probably going to turn a lot of people off and get them angry, like, "Oh, how could you, you're joining WWE and you don't even watch wrestling?" Well, back in the day, when wrestlers were wrestlers and making real money, they weren't really wrestling fans. Like, this has just been a recent phenomenon in like the past 20, like basically since the Attitude Era, where everybody watched wrestling. Now, like, all the wrestlers now are just wrestling fans.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to hate her. Now, hopefully when she is in the business, she dives into it and really understands and takes it seriously. Then I have no issue with it.
Like, I was watching Kurt Angle, the Table for Three was Kurt Angle and Alpha Academy. And Kurt said the same thing. Like, he didn't start watching wrestling until like after the Olympics, and like ECW brought him in and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, hey, man, it is what it is. I think she'll be all right. And then what's this UK show going on? What's going on with this?
Well, this is almost like the Fire Fest of the wrestling world. So this has been in the works for, I think, like a few months now at this point. Originally, it was going to be, I think, Braun Strowman versus Alistair Overeem. And it was basically like every single WWE person who was released during the pandemic was going to be a part of the show. And then it got rescheduled for reasons. And then they were supposed to have the show Saturday. And there was like the lead up to it was just insane, where there was only like a couple hundred tickets sold. And this is like a 10,000 seat arena in Norwich. I think that's where it was in England. And some wrestlers were saying they weren't traveling yet. They haven't had travel information on how to get there. And it seemed like it was going to be this complete disaster. So it was no shock to anyone really that it got canceled again. And there was a little kerfuffle that the wrestlers haven't been paid, but I guess that has been the case. Nia Jax, I guess she said some things and they kind of disputed that. But so there's some wrestlers I think who are in the UK already. And I think I saw something that Mojo Rawley is like setting up like a free meet and greet or something. So there you go. Not all bad.
Okay, that sounds like something.
This is also run by the Authors of Pain.
That's okay. That's what this was. All right, I'd heard about that a little bit. All right, for sure. No fan mail at all this week, bro.
Damn, they hate us.
I know,
it's
right?
Okay.
They hate us because they ain't us.
I still love you guys.
Or should I check it anyway?
I still love you guys, even though the one person that yelled at me.
Who yelled at you?
Someone tried to cancel me because I did the whole Black Twitter thing.
Oh man. Let's see. Do we have any?
Just to let you guys know, when we normally record now, I know we've kind of changed it, but we still release it later. Normally, we've been recording like almost right after AEW Dynamite. So
yeah,
I know maybe some of you guys may still send it in on Thursday morning or Thursday afternoon.
Yeah,
but now we are recording a little bit earlier, so
we got one. I got one.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Am I going to get canceled again?
No, this is about you though.
Ah, damn it.
He's Nigerian Prince. Hey, so I played the show for my girl. Bro, this is so weird. And it's the part where Brandon said, if other people can eat it, so can I. Oh, that's when you talk about the cruise ship, right? And the frog legs and shit. Right?
Yeah, of course. You know, if it's edible and you put it in front of me, I'm going to eat it.
My girl was like, does that apply to ass?
Well, you know, people, well, as I said, if you put it in front of me and it is edible, your boy's going to eat it.
Oh my God, he did not just say that. He just not just say that. Why did you just say that?
And as long as it's clean and no dingleberries.
Oh my God. Hell nah.
Why did you real gentlemen do it, Philip? Come on.
Shut up. No, you did not just say that.
Real okay. Oh, well, yeah, I mean, you already said it. So you already said the action of what we were talking about.
Oh my God, bro. All right, we gotta move on. Talk
even
about
if so never mind. We're not gonna go. Nope. We're
no,
not.
No. Do it.
So you're telling me if you got a heaping plate of Yam Yam Bigelow right in front of you, you're telling me you're not gonna partake?
She gotta turn around.
Anyways,
yeah. Talk about Raw, bro.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty raw right now. Oh, my God.
All right, as Philip goes to relieve himself, we will cover Raw, and we got Becky Lynch and Asuka once again main eventing Raw. I believe I saw something on Twitter, which obviously every single thing you see on Twitter is absolute fact, that men have not main evented Raw in like 3 months. Which does kind of make sense as I kind of roll through. It has been a lot of Becky Lynch, a lot of Asuka, Bianca, Rhea, just the women's division in general on Raw. But this was a street fight, I believe, and they just had a street fight, tables, ladders, chairs, oh my. And Becky gets the win. So kind of cementing, I think, the end of this Asuka feud. I don't know what they're going to do unless they're going to pivot to Becky and Bianca at SummerSlam, because I don't think you can't run it back, especially at SummerSlam with Bianca and Carmella. And if Rhea's still dealing with some issues, then maybe they don't want to push it too quickly. But I was kind of loving what Asuka and Becky were doing with their two of their top women's stars, and the depth for the women's division is not very good right now, and especially now as you take Liv off of it, I don't know what other baby faces you can really give to Becky at the moment, unless they are going to continue this feud with Asuka, and it's just going to be the never-ending feud for 2022.
It might be. I don't know. Bailey comes back as a babyface. We could do that.
We could, and Becky versus Bailey could be something
That's
you
fresher of the 4 horsewomen.
Yeah, but it's also one of those things that you had when you like brought Becky back. It's like, oh, okay, you bring Bailey back, and obviously you don't want to have her lose. Becky's kind of getting rehabbed right now. You don't want her to lose, and then here we go again with
They can trade losses, bro. It's
crappy finishes and
it doesn't even
count
have to be.
outs.
Doesn't have to be count out. We can you can like, oh, I got you this time, or like a roll up or whatever. That's fine, bro. Like we can what you call it? We can trade a couple losses and have a rubber match.
Still don't understand how we haven't gotten Becky and Ronda legit one-on-one yet, but what do I know?
I don't know. So would it be hard for Bailey to come back as a babyface?
Absolutely not. I mean, it's always happens when you come back from an injury. The people are going to cheer for you. It's just, what do you do next?
Yeah, I mean, because like I always tell people, like, that's not hard, bro. Hogan put back on the red and yellow after the black and white. It's not hard.
I mean, hell, he still wears the red and yellow now, and people
Exactly.
still cheer him. I mean, hell, people still cheer Vince McMahon for some godly reason.
I mean, well, that's Vince McMahon.
I mean, I've been saying it for years, not even before the accusation. Well, the accusations were still known back in the day, but before this recent investigation.
Wait, this is the first I've ever heard of it.
Well, Philip, you gotta dig through and do some muckraking. Even though muckraking is not a good term in terms of. Anyways, we're not going to go down my journalism.
People still cheer Vince because he's Vince. He's a national treasure. Can we call him that? Can we say that about Vince McMahon? I think so. He's a kind of like a Morgan Freeman, just like this being who's always been around and who's been loved and all that other stuff. You know what I mean? Vince has also been very much hated.
Yeah, I don't think Morgan Freeman is as disliked as Vince.
I just thought of I didn't even mean like dislike, just like like they've always been there. They're just like this fixture. You know what I mean? Like Betty White, she was always around, and fortunately until she's no longer with us, but just like that fixture that's always been there.
And she was being investigated for misproprieties and rape allegations. Betty White's an angel.
She was an angel. Love me.
She still is an angel.
Yes. Oh, it's a triple threat for the ECW title. Kane versus Big Show versus Mark Henry. Oh, what a sight this is. Watching Night of Champions 2008. It's fantastic. 2008 was such a good year for WWE, man. It's so underrated.
Too bad I wasn't there. That's why it was such a great year, because I wasn't there.
Oh boy. What? So let's talk about these Street Profits and Lashley defeating Theory and Alpha Academy. The Dawkins or the Montez talk has really been beefing up that he's the single star out of the two. And then you saw Dawkins' performance on Monday night, and I put it on the Bullet Cast, bro. They can both be Sean's. Nobody has to be a Jannetty.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You don't need to. One person doesn't have to skyrocket while the other person just languishes.
Have to break up. They don't have to break up either. I get that's the generic thing, but we can have a couple tag teams that never break up, like New Day, like RK Bro. I mean, obviously the turn's coming eventually because that's just what might happen. But honestly, they may never break up. You know what I mean? Once Randy's back, tag teams don't need to break up. Not all the time.
Yeah, you don't need to do like the angle. I mean, technically, like in the Shield, Roman and Dean still kind of kept together, and yeah, they did eventually have like heel face interactions, but they didn't. Everybody just didn't turn on each other all at one time. So
yeah, like you don't want to be like the primetime players when they broke up. Nothing really happened. Crime Time when they broke up, nothing really happened, and it's I don't know. They're black tag teams, and that's.
I was gonna, I didn't want to be the one that pointed out, so I had to get canceled again.
Enzo and Cass, nothing really happened. There we go. Yeah.
Didn't he just like kind of squash Enzo, and then Enzo just went to the cruiserweight division and ran roughshod there after he got squashed by Cass?
Kate and Murdoch. There we go. Had to think of another tag team. Kenan and Lundrick. There we go. Boom.
Bam.
Yeah. I don't even think someone. Yeah. Kendrick turned heel on London, I think, and then he went on to become the Brian Kendrick. And then he tweets things that are inappropriate. Yeah, so that's my whole take on that. Liv and Bianca defeat Carmella and Natty. Yep.
Good for them. Nobody got hurt, so I can ask for him. I mean, I kind of touched on it with the Becky and Asuka match. Are they really stretching Bianca and Carmella till then? Because I don't think they should. We haven't seen Rhea since then, since her injury. And Becky doesn't look like she's doing much right now.
Her getting hurt really messed up Judgment Day. And people are complaining about Finn and the long tights. So what, bro? Who cares?
It was weird.
He used to wear them before. Like, who cares, bro?
We didn't talk about the spooky vignette on our recap on Monday.
Oh, it's Edge.
Yeah, I think it is Edge. It is a little weird that he's going to still. I mean, I guess because he went so deep in the Judgment Day direction that you kind of have to keep it a little bit. But it is weird that
like Brood Edge versus Demon Finn. We're not going to get that.
I don't know, but it is, unless he is like gonna try to do that, like very like his debut act where he was like the loner, and which never really panned out for reasons. So I don't know if they're gonna try to run it back again.
I mean, he'll have a different way to approach it now. All the years of experience, so that's fine. I'm down. I'm down for all that. Let's keep it rolling. NXT 2.0 Great American Bash happened. Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade defeated Toxic Attraction to become the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. That's what's up. Braun Breaker, another successful defense. I believe it was attacked by Grayson Waller. Things are starting to look up on 2.0.
I did not watch a single second of this.
Wow.
I did see the picture of Cora Jade and Roxy.
We talked about this here
with the titles.
God, you have to watch.
4th of July has really messed me up, Philip. Being on a Monday, I didn't watch Raw until Tuesday, so then pushed me back. And
I got back from Modesto at like 4 a.m. and went to work. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it messed up the feng shui of the timing, and then I had to, I went shopping and I had to do some things.
What'd you shop for? What'd you buy?
Well, I didn't really buy anything, but because I'm a prissy pants, and my family doesn't really care too much about surprises. I just pick up my own birthday presents pretty much.
Wow. What'd you buy yourself? Let's have that talk.
Let's see. We got some, from different from different parties, got some Barstool merch because I'm a Chad. My brother got me the California Young Bucks t-shirt. Okay. And then I went to the Livermore outlets, got some whatchamacallit, some tights, some things to wear to the gym, some like basic tank tops. And then, Philip, I don't know if we ever talked about this. I don't know if you're a part of it. I'm finally gonna have some Crocs.
There we go, brother. You got Crocs?
I'm gonna get Crocs in about 2 weeks. I have my slides. I will forever be indebted to them, and I will still wear them. But the Crocs will find its way into the rotation.
Yes, sir. You gonna customize them or what, bro?
Not right now. Maybe we throw some pins on there later, but right now we got like it's a yellow, but it's kind of like a greenish, earthy yellow. I was trying to go with like the Kanye vibes because I'm the Kanye mark. I really wanted some brown ones, but they didn't have I didn't want the ones with the lining, like the slipper type. I wanted just the straight up plastic Crocs. So
you don't want the ones with the lining in it? Those are the best ones. I have those.
I mean, my mom and my brother both have them, so I felt them. I see it. But just right now, I'm in the market for like some slides, some breathable Crocs, some breathable footwear. Maybe once we get to the fall, winter time, the footsies get cold, the piggies get cold. Maybe I got to get some slipper Crocs.
No, the line Crocs are where it's at, bro. I wear them in the rain. My feet don't get wet. It's fantastic. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, you can do I'll do the AEW recap. Wardlow wins the TNT title. He defeats Scorpio Sky. They should just keep the title like that. I mean, that's a beautiful version of it.
I mean, yeah, I love the title. It seems like, unfortunately, they're doing it all the time where everyone gets like their own version of the championship. And I think I've come to the realization that the TNT title is just going to bounce around hot potato style because all the other titles really don't change hands all that often. So, I mean, I don't have an issue with it. I know maybe some people wanted Scorpio to do more, but Wardlow is the pet project. And I think post MJF, they do need to kind of put the rocket to him and see what they can do with him. Because he's not young. He's still, I think he's like in his 30s. So it's not like he's an Austin Theory. You gotta, I mean, he's not a Finn Balor, but you want to get the most you can out of him right now.
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to bounce around the way the TV title did back in the day. Moxley retains against King. We all knew this was happening. Did you see the match?
I did see the match. It was hard hitting. It was, it was a good match. It wasn't bloody, gruesome by any means, but they worked their ass off. It was a fun time. It was the only thing, as you said, like there wasn't really any drama to the match because no one really expects Brody King to beat John Moxley, but they put on a good match. They did go 2 minutes over the hour, so I don't know if that was a planned thing or they just were running long on time. But once again, Jim Ross came out for the second hour of Dynamite. It was Taz, Excalibur, and Shivani for the first hour. Shivani buggered off. Jim Ross filled in for him. So I don't know if I think this is gonna be the thing going forward. I'm fine with, kind of go with the Raw is War, even like the Nitros back in the day where you had the two different announcers. And with Jim Ross at his age, I don't think you need him there all 2 hours. Have him be sharp, a good sharp Jim Ross for an hour. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Swerve and Keith Lee defeat the Butcher and the Blade.
Yeah, match was fine. Obviously, Swerve and Lee are going to go over. Then we get Hobbs and Starks just yelling, mostly it was just Starks doing the talking.
Bro, how does Ricky Starks not have the TNT title, bro? I don't understand this.
But he's got the FTW title. It's good.
No, shut up. No. He needs give him like a 3.5 month run with that thing, bro. Just let him go.
I mean, I think he's fantastic, especially with his mic work. I think he's great. Young Bucks came out. They set up a triple threat tag team match next week at Fyter Fest. So that's the gimmick for next week is Fyter Fest, and should be a really good match. I did enjoy that the crowd kind of took over and were very loudly chanting for FTR when they were kind of obviously setting up a triple threat match, but the crowd wants FTR. And I think that's a good sign that they're going to give them FTR versus Young Bucks. And I think FTR beats the Young Bucks probably at All Out. And I think it's going to be just a super hot match, a fantastic match with the roles reversed. So
we going?
Well, that's also the same weekend as APW and the Juicy Show. So Labor Day weekend is going to be a packed wrestling weekend.
Can't go. Oh no, can't go. Yep.
Not on the script. Eddie Kingston, I thought, had a good thing. He had once again a stellar, short, good promo, and they beat up Ruby Soho. So it looks like they're setting up maybe like a mixed tag match, or I don't know, 2 jointing singles feuds with Soho and Ty Conti.
Also, Roosh defeats Penta.
Yeah, I mean, match was fine. I don't know if this was a gimmicked mask, but something happened with Penta's mask kind of late into the match, and so he was just messing with it all the time. And then the finish was Roosh taking the mask off and hitting him with the roll up. So once again, we've seen this finish like so many times that it's kind of just eye rolling at this point. But Roosh gets the win. Penta loses again. As much as like Phoenix is the athletic one, Penta has so much charisma, and I feel like they could do so much with the Lucha Bros as a singles or a tag team, and they're, just kind of there to put people over. Even Pac is above them, but I mean, that's what they're doing, and they're, I guess, whatever. I wouldn't do it. I would have had the Lucha Bros be a much bigger deal, especially over the past 3 years of the company, but I'm not the one running it. That's old TK.
It is. We're going to close it up here. West Coast Pros Cruel Summer is back at the new venue, man. This is it's the United Irish Cultural Center. It's across from the San Francisco Zoo. Brandon and myself will be in attendance. So will West Ghost. I believe Baby Huey will be there. Jimbo, James Kincaid, he's on the call. most likely with Veda Scott. It is going to be a banger of a night. I know Scott Brigante, the owner of West Coast Pro, hates that term, so I'm gonna use it. It's gonna be some. I
feel like that term has like been used a lot in wrestling recently, and I feel like we've said it a lot. Like we've said it. I feel like we like. I know it's like a rap, like lingo that's gone on forever, but I feel like it's really seeped into mainstream and wrestling lingo right now, which I kind of don't like, but whatever.
That shit's hella loud. That's the new term. Hella loud.
Yeah, but then you're gonna make people start using hella all the time, and that gets me eye rolling.
You don't like hella? You're a Bay Arean.
I'm not. I'm saying when it goes mainstream. I mean, there's times where people will obviously not around from here and will say it, and it's just kind of grown and doozy, but it's fine.
I know when I was saying like hella in like Florida and Texas, they were like, "What?" I'm like, "That'll suck, bro." Man, all right, let's roll it up. So, Speedball Mike Bailey going up against Starboy Charlie, Titus Alexander versus Jack Cartwheel, ACH versus Nick Wayne, the Motor City Machine Guns versus the West Coast Wrecking Crew. Hey, yo, we're talking about tag teams and stuff. You know, y'all know how much I love the Machine Guns, and I got to meet them boys. Brandon, you got to take that photo for me. The West Coast Wrecking Crew, bro, like you've seen them live. They're fire. Those dudes are what's up.
I mean, I know maybe some people listening to this don't know really a lot of these people, but this card is shaping up to be a good one because it is in a bigger venue. So West Coast is definitely putting their best foot forward here.
Yes, sir. Check out the West Coast Wrecking Crew, Jarrell Nelson and Royce Isaacs. Then we also got Zeta Zhang going up against Masha Slamovich. The match that was just signed, Alan Five Angels of the Dark, or no longer with the Dark Order. He's gone from AEW. So Alan Angels going up against the final boss of the West Coast, Vinny Massaro, and for the West Coast Pro Championship, Filthy Tom Lawler taking on Big Oos, Jacob Fatu. Yes, sir. About like 8 or 9 matches. It's gonna be a nice one, bro. I will see Brandon on Friday. We will talk to all of you guys next week. Enjoy the Levi Shapiro interview. Next week is Uglies More Gay Shit. I plan on doing a shit ton of interviews that day. So be on the lookout for a lot more content from the BC. Thank you all so much. Diamonds are forever. So is the Microphone Messiah. Yes, sir.
And if you want to prove it to you now, here's the feeling in the time and everything that we did. Listen to the senators connecting it, moving on everything that's pronouncing it. Everything we did in the time now with the testament. Here is the feeling when we live on the stage.